Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm, LLC, offers more value than any other good full-service real estate brokerage firm when it comes to the sale of your home. We offer at least 27 things that contribute to your home selling in the least amount of time at the highest price. To receive our free home selling pamphlet, email us at info@brooksanddavis.com or call 713-665-8329. We also assist people who want to purchase homes or who are interested in getting their real estate license. Visit us at www.brooksanddavis.com.
Welcome to the Prime Real Estate Network. I'm your host, Rick Davis. If you don't follow me on social media, I urge you to do so. You can follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Prime Real Estate Rick. If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, I urge everyone to stop by our website at brooksanddavis.com. You can get all the information that you need about the greater Houston and Texas real estate markets. And if you would like information, please contact us and someone will contact you to schedule a time for a consultation. As always, my co-host is not only a Texas real estate broker, but he's also a two-time author and serial entrepreneur. So I would like to introduce to the Prime Real Estate Network audience my co-host, the Texas Real Estate King, Mr. Larry W. Brooks.
Good morning, good people. It is a blessing and a great opportunity to be back in front of you again. Rick, you almost act like you was going to stumble on my name now just a minute ago. I just gave this man a bunch of amazing compliments. He act like he's going to stumble on my name. That's what I made him nervous. That's what it is.
No, absolutely not. It's good to be back with you this week, Larry.
Yeah, man. I'm excited, man. I've had the opportunity at least over the last 10 years of watching our two guests today grow in their fields of expertise. And I mean, literally watch them grow, watch some changes take place in their life. And I'm excited. I'm excited to have them on here. I've always wanted to have an opportunity to have interaction with them, and I wanted to expose the talents that I know that they have to the rest of the world. So I'm excited about that. Of course, guys, always feel free to follow me at Texas Real Estate King on all your social media platforms. In addition to that, I got an event that's taking place today, so I'll be at the 100 event. It's going to be at Del Frisco's. If you want to come out, hang out with me today, we'll take some photos and just, talk about whatever it is that you choose to want to talk about. Come on out. I'll be at Del Frisco's at 6 p.m. this evening in the Houston, Texas area, gallery area. Also, I want to send out a quick plug. I've been asked to speak at the Superstar interview on April 25th. It's going to be a Thursday. It's actually going to be on Facebook Live. I've been asked by Champion School of Real Estate's owner, Miss Rita. I'll be sitting with Miss Rita, and we're going to talk about habits of the hustle, right? And so I'm excited to give you details on how I've been able to build a real estate brokerage firm and just some of the other opportunities that I've been able to stand in front of you guys and talk about over the years. So want you to go. You'll be able to go to this page that you're currently on when it comes out Facebook Live, and then I'll have a link on there for you. But it's going to be April 25th. You sign up for free live and you'll be good. So hey, Rick, I'm excited, man.
I mean, I urge everyone to make sure they keep up with you and tune in. Yeah. Because it's not often we get Mr. Brooks able to make other media appearances. So we definitely got to take a little time to hear Mr. Brooks on another platform.
I receive all of that. Yes, sir. I receive it.
But without any further ado, I would like to introduce to our audience our two guests today. Our first guest is an author, a motivational speaker, and he hosts his own online podcast entitled Thou Shalt Prosper TV. This gentleman is known, Mr. Brooks, as Mr. Brooks mentioned, for quite a few years. Mr. Brooks has had the opportunity to watch this gentleman build his brand and expand his entrepreneurial ventures and businesses. So I would like to first introduce to the Prime Real Estate Network audience, Mr. J.J. Simmons.
What's going on, man? J.J. Simmons, Thou Shalt Prosper TV. I'm a world changer. I've been, by the grace of God, an entrepreneur now 13 years full time. Yeah. Started off rapping. I've always been a celebrity in my head. I got on the radio. I came out here to Houston, got on the radio. I was on the radio 17 weeks in a row. I don't know if y'all remember Mean Green back in the day. Yeah. Mean Green in 2005. Then I started hosting a local hip-hop TV show. Yeah. I was a host on there. I was on TV every Friday, some kind of way. The TV has always called my name, I was on every Friday, interviewed all kind of people. And then gave my life to God, started preaching in churches, and that transition. And I've always had a hunger for entrepreneurship. Unfortunately in New Orleans, started off in the streets, selling weed, crack, heroin, and everything else. And by the grace of God, He spared my life. Almost died 6 times in New Orleans and also here in Houston. And I'm here today. And that's what I got going on. I'm a speaker. I'm an author. Sell real estate. I got a phenomenal T-shirt brand. Been on the news a few times with my T-shirts. Yeah. So thousands of T-shirts here locally in Houston. My new T-shirt right now that's phenomenal. 2019 goals: get sexy, get super sexy, improve your credit, ignore your haters, create new haters, and the streets embracing it like always. So I'm grateful. So that's what I have going on right now in my life.
I want to thank you so much for taking some time to be on our podcast this week, JJ.
Not only that, JJ, one day on your IG you're going to have to do a throwback when you had the dreads. Was it dreads?
Man, yeah, I had dreads and braids.
One day you have to do a throwback on there, man. Dreads. That's right.
Yeah. Every now and then I put it on there, you know.
I heard y'all did. And I also would like to introduce our second guest. She is not just a real estate entrepreneur, but she's also a real estate mentor and a real estate investment coach. I urge everyone to follow her Instagram and everywhere else on social media. So to the Prime Real Estate Network audience, I'd like to introduce our second guest, Miss DJ Johnson. How are you?
Good morning. What is it? Good afternoon now?
I know, right? We just go with the flow.
Just go with the flow. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so excited. Just a little brief about who I am. I started as an entrepreneur at 7 years old selling Cool Cups and chips and stuff.
Wait a minute. That's what my grandma did.
You know what I mean?
That's that talent right there.
So I already knew I was going to be a self-employed.
I know that's right.
Couldn't wait for the summertime to show up.
I love it.
And then progress as a tax accountant. Sold a franchise from there for 17 years. So my company and tap into real estate at the age of 35 of woe is me, what I'm going to do with my life. Yeah. I walked away from a company and I have more to tell about having a negative $259 bank account from Dallas to Houston, and then end up being a 6-figure within 6 to 8 months.
Yeah, because I remember when you were living in Dallas, you was down there for quite some time.
Absolutely.
Before coming on back home.
Absolutely.
No
so I'm excited.
Yeah.
It's great to have 2 up-and-coming, successful area entrepreneurs on the show. And the reason why I believe this episode is so powerful is because we like to always spotlight those entrepreneurs and business people on the rise, so that people who are just starting, who've just started their first LLC, are figuring out how to move forward with their business brand, can have examples, not necessarily all in the same arena, but to give a unique perspective on all different aspects of entrepreneurship and real estate that a person can use, especially in today's market, to expand and build themselves. So my first question for both of you all, and I'll start with JJ. What was your initial inspiration for starting your entrepreneurial businesses and your first business ventures?
Man, to be really honest, when I came to Houston after Katrina, I saw so much legal money, I decided to stop selling drugs. Growing up in New Orleans, I started selling weed probably like at 16 years old. I quit my job. I was working at a McDonald's, and I was like, man, I can make more money selling ounces of weed, so I quit. But when I came to Houston, I was inspired. Right. I was inspired because, of course they had legal money around me in New Orleans, but it wasn't my normal atmosphere. Mm-hmm. It wasn't my environment, so my brain wasn't accustomed to seeing it. So when I came to Houston and I saw people making a living off graphic design, people making a living off just any and everything, printing flyers. I remember, I never forget, I know Nice. Yeah. Nice graphics. And I was like, this is what you do for a living? Yeah. I was inspired. And I made a decision to go legal. And that was started it for me. I started rapping. I remember I was selling my hip-hop CDs on the street, and I was making $200-300. And I was like, what? Yeah. Because my last job in New Orleans was at Cafe Du Monde. Yeah. One of the greatest touristic sites in New Orleans. When I came here, I was like, you know what, I'm about to focus on this. And I was excited about rapping at the time, and I was because I've always looked for an opportunity to escape. Because I didn't choose the streets. Well, I chose it, but it wasn't in my heart. Right. Some people love the streets. Right. That wasn't my thing. And when I came to Houston, I was like, you know what, I'm done with that, and I'm gonna just focus on making legal money. and because I needed that peace.
No, because it takes a lot.
And that's really my how I started.
It takes a clarity of thought and a pure heart to be able to make those transitions for yourself. Usually there's traumatic experiences that force people to make drastic changes in lifestyle. And the fact that you were able to see the light and also have a vision for yourself that was positive. A lot of times people don't even have a positive vision for themselves.
Yeah.
So I want to congratulate you from that standpoint. I wanted to ask DJ, same question for you. What was, and I know you said you started out at 7 doing the Cool Cup thing, but what was your initial motivation and spark that got you to start on the entrepreneurial path that you took as an adult?
Well, let me fast forward how I started as a wholesaler. I was in Houston, Dallas, had a very successful tax company. Started off with 70 people doing mobile tax service, and then I ended up acquiring, by the time I had to sell it, 2,500 tax clients. So I was very successful as a tax accountant. Unfortunately, when I sold it, I ended up losing everything, and I had death as well, a negative checking account of $259. 35 years old, woe is me, what I'm going to do in my life situation. And as I'm driving 189 miles back in a U-Haul truck, that I had to call my mother to wire me funds to get back home, I knew I need to do something different. I had a passion. I'm really good in sales. I'm really good as creating new businesses, but I need to find a purpose. I felt like I was in a maze.
Right.
You know, when you make a left,
Yeah.
you make a right, and you still have a block, but you might have a leeway. And so I was introduced to wholesaling. And so when I became a wholesaler, here's the thing. I like people, but I don't like them like that.
Okay. Okay.
So
because when we think of wholesaling, we think of coming in contact with people. So tell me, say more about that. Say more
okay, so I knew I want to be in real estate.
Right.
Do I want to be a real estate agent? This is me asking myself that question. Do I really want to be a real estate agent? Not really. Because I got to pick you up, meet somewhere, find the property. That's not me. So I knew I wanted to do something in real estate, and I was introduced to wholesaling. Of course, when you give me a word, I'm going to Google it. I'm going to go to University of YouTube to figure out what the word of wholesaling means. And once that was introduced to me, I couldn't sleep.
Right.
I had to fire. Because here's one thing I tell everybody. What a person can take away from you is the knowledge. You can always reproduce yourself as an entrepreneur because you already have the knowledge. What they don't have, or what they do have, is the product, but you can create a new product. And I also learned to not be fully attached to anything that I create. My legacy is to teach, create, package it, and sell it. That's it.
Yeah. No, that's outstanding, because that is what truly building a business and building brands are. People see companies are bought and sold every day. There are people who do that. That's what they do. We start a company, build it, build the brand, and then sell it to someone who wants to take it to the next level. So I think that's inspiring. I appreciate both of you all for being as candid about not only your background, your experiences, and what you've been through, but also being open to share some of your tips for success. So we're going to take a break, and when we come back for our break, I want to take a little time to talk to our audience about what it is that you guys deal in with the public. I want the audience to learn a little bit more about JJ, your books you've authored, sir. And I also want to take some time, DJ, to let the audience know about wholesaling and how someone could get in contact with you to be a part of your mentorship program. So if you guys will stay with us, we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back. Everyone, stay tuned to the Prime Real Estate Network. We're going to take a short break to hear some messages from our sponsors, and we'll return shortly. This is Rick Davis, realtor and host of the Prime Real Estate Network. Are you currently leasing or looking to relocate to the Houston area, and you find yourself falling in love with the home but aren't quite in a position to purchase? Well, no worries. We offer the Right to Purchase program. We can place you in the home of your dreams at current market rental rates and give you up to 3 years to buy. Did you know that a majority of the homes that are for sale offer better quality than those that are for rent? So why wait? Don't cheat yourself, treat yourself. Let me and my team help you purchase a home that you and your family can fall in love with. Give me a call today at 832-928-3963. And remember to follow the Prime Real Estate Network podcast on YouTube, Facebook, iTunes, Spotify, and Google Play. I look forward to hearing from you soon. Be blessed. Welcome back to the Prime Real Estate Network. I'm your host, Ric Davis. Urge you to follow me on social media at Prime Real Estate Ric. You can follow me on Instagram and Facebook. Urge you all to stop by brooksanddavis.com if you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in commercial or residential real estate. As always, my co-host is the Texas Real Estate King, Mr. Larry W. Brooks, and we have two outstanding and very talented guests this week. Our first guest is Mr. J.J. Simmons. This gentleman is an author, motivational speaker, and is also host of Thou Shalt Prosper TV online. And our second guest is Ms. DJ Johnson, who's a real estate entrepreneur, real estate mentor, and is also a real estate investment coach as well. So I would like to get back to our guests. So, Mr. Simmons, before we took our first break, we talked a little bit about your journey as an entrepreneur and business person, but I want to talk about your work as an author.
Okay.
You currently have, how many books have you authored so far, sir?
2 so far. My third book is coming out June 1st.
Oh, that's outstanding.
Yeah.
We have a title for that yet?
Turning likes into cash.
Oh,
Okay.
wow, that's
Okay.
outstanding.
I think I
So-
need that book right now.
Absolutely. Let's talk about our first
We just
book we
talked
have
about that,
here.
yeah.
Let's talk about your Becoming a 21st Century Entrepreneur book. Could you show that to the audience, please, sir?
Yes, this is the greatest book written on entrepreneurship in the last 200 years. Become a 21st Century Entrepreneur. And this is my first book, Principal, Participation, Promise. This came out right after that. But this came out last year in, I think, April, can't remember. And this came out in October in the same year.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about the subject matter and the motivation that was on your heart when you decided to start writing your books.
Well, the first one, Principal, Participation, Promise, it was, I've discovered that reading the Word of God, I had a lot of troubles in my life when I first gave my life to Christ, and it was a lot of complication, but I discovered the greatest thing I've learned in reading the Bible, that every time God shows a promise, he shows the principle, but we must participate in the principle to get the result.
Yeah.
So like I tell people, God inspired this book, but I wrote the book. Okay, God didn't kill Goliath. David with God killed Goliath. And a lot of us, we believing for the promise, but I've discovered God is looking for partners, not just servants. Everybody want to clean the toilets, but don't nobody want to do their part.
Yeah.
You can't park cleaning the toilets. You know what I'm saying? People get too excited about that. I'm not excited about cleaning toilets. The second book, Become a 21st Century Entrepreneur. What I'm teaching in this book is, you get paid in this life based on the skills that you have. And unfortunately for me in New Orleans, I really thought that whatever deck of cards I had, I thought that was my plateau. I didn't know that I can develop skills and increase my value to increase my income. I didn't know that. So what I'm teaching in here is you can desire, like I wasn't born a speaker. But I have the skill now. I can speak on any platform. You put me anywhere, I'm going to kill it. But the thing about it is I wasn't like that. I didn't have the skill in being in front of a camera. I do it like nothing now. Right. So whatever skill you want, you can acquire it. And that's why the first word is become, because the word become means to be transformed into something, to be converted into something. So if you're not something today, and if you desire and you pursue the skill, you can acquire it and you can become it. And that's what that book is about.
That is outstanding. I want to make sure before the end of this episode, everyone that listens to this platform knows exactly how to go about purchasing and acquiring this particular literature, because I think it's outstanding and invaluable information for everyone.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you, Ms. Johnson, could you speak a little bit about your real estate investment practice, your mentorship program, and how you help those who may not necessarily have the experience but have the want to get involved in the wholesaling field?
Absolutely. I'm launching a bus tour April the 13th.
Oh, wow.
It's called What to Look For. A lot of entrepreneurs or inspiredpreneurs, as I call them, want to do what we all do if it's in real estate. And so they see the YouTube University, they understand the concept, but they need someone to really walk you through it. And so what inspired me is to teach others how to find property, but I have to give your eyes, which is focus, on what to look for. So if I can show you what to look for, then you have an understanding on, okay, now I can go ahead and apply what I've already acquired. Now I can go ahead and take the risk and chance to create a problem-solving solution. And so on April the 13th, you can find this at my Instagram, which is Rehab in High Heels.
Okay.
Yes. Very creative.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
You know.
Because you just redid the logo recently, right?
I did.
Yeah,
I
I
did.
remember going on and liking it. Like, okay, I like this.
Yeah,
I
it
seen
got,
the
it got,
updates to the
more,
logo.
like, got a little oomph to it, got a little meat in it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
So you have to do a transition. You got to brand it. You have to, well, I have to as the employee, because the CEO name is God. I don't own it at all. But on April 13th, it's called What to Look For tour. It's a bus tour, hands-on. You'll understand how to do wholesaling, how to negotiate, because all you do as a wholesaler is you're a problem solver. That's it. You solve a problem. They're in distress. It might be in foreclosure. It might be a property they need to liquidate because they have legal issues. They have too many properties. Sometimes the investors get real greedy and they can't leverage right. So they need to release something. It's called monopoly.
Yeah.
And your job is to solve that problem. The problem is I need to get rid of something. Okay, now it's a property. Your other job is to find someone who wants that property. You're nothing but a negotiator and a coordinator. I call myself a conductor.
Yeah.
If you've seen a symphony, there's a person in front of everyone coordinating things. You have a seller, which is a motivated seller. You have an end buyer. You're just the middleman. You meet them together and you receive your service, your assignment fee. And that's what I'm going to teach everyone that will participate in this bus tour, of how to wholesale and how to also use this as a leverage to progress farther into real estate. You can go ahead and assign the property or become what I love, owner finance. You can keep the property in the person's name, and then you end up finding an end buyer, and you end up building cash flow. And that's where your capital and your longevity, as far as becoming very wealthy, is the long term.
Yeah. Absolutely. I wanted to ask you, Mr. Simmons, as a professional motivational speaker, what type of groups and organizations have you spoke before? And the reason why I asked that question is because I want educators, teachers, those that work with young people. I want to inspire them to reach out to you to share your story to that next generation. And second question would be is how have you found that the younger generation responds when they meet you and you tell them your story of entrepreneurship and how the trail you've blazed moving from New Orleans to Houston?
I speak at a lot of entrepreneurship events. I do my own events. I used to do 2015, 2016, and 2017. I used to do my own events every 3 months. I did a conference that's called the Be Fruitful and Multiply Conference. That was my thing that I was doing at that time. But entrepreneurship events. And I mean, in today's time, thankfully, entrepreneurship is like a new religion.
It is.
It really is. And it's a good thing and a bad thing, but I like to focus on the positive side of it the most. Kids today are very receptive because, when you see 22-year-olds, young people making billions of dollars or even millions through social media or finding some kind of niche that they can make money from, it's the new thing. Yep. People not really, not too many people have been brainwashed with the whole 9-to-5 concept in today's time. When my mama, was growing up, working a 9-to-5 was the thing, but I speak anywhere, anywhere I get a platform. I'm speaking at a real estate event this weekend, but it's not just 100, it's different people from different, spaces. And they asked me to come and speak on what my book is about and how I can help the people in their skill set to increase it. So that's what I have going on. But the kids has been very receptive. A lot of people, I've discovered that, my demographic is, 19 to 70-year-olds.
Really now?
Yeah, super really. And I always knew that a lot of people, especially in the church where I was like, speak to the youth. I've never, in Houston, I don't know why. I guess because I'm from New Orleans. When I go to New Orleans, my heart breaks for everybody because I understand the demons of the city. When I'm in Houston, I got a different focus, But so that's basically it.
No, that's outstanding, because what I want to do with your interview today, everyone who hears the sound of your voice has the opportunity to watch this video now and in perpetuity. I want them to understand the power of your story and that you are receptive to going out in the community and getting your hands dirty and investing in the people. Because a lot of times there are myriads of public speakers you can see online, and a lot of them are at a success level where you don't really feel like you can reach out and touch them and meet them face to face without it being a huge conference and reservations and tickets and all of that stuff. And I think someone like yourself is bound to be at that particular plateau one day. But right now, while you're in Houston serving this community, I want everyone here who needs to be edified by your story and your mission statement to have that opportunity. So I want to thank you for the work you're doing.
Man, thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
And then Ms. Johnson, Larry and myself, working in the real estate space for as long as we have, we meet people at all varying degrees of readiness to jump out there and start their own real estate brand and start investing. So for all those graduating high school seniors, graduating college seniors, young women, young men, young professionals that have that 9-to-5, but know that a real estate investment space is somewhere they want to be, could you just please speak to why they need to take their destiny in their own hands today, not procrastinate, and help them with what you use to get up and motivate yourself to move forward every day, if you could, please?
Absolutely. Let me tell you something. I really enjoy a person that have I call it inspirepreneur, because we're inspired to do something. At the same time, I believe in leveraging what you currently have. So if you have a job and you're inspired to start doing real estate, my position is to not impose your dream. Let me be more explain that. Sometimes everyone wants to be an entrepreneur, but my job is not to tell you can't. My job is just to listen to what you want to do and then guide you in that whole process. Who am I to say you can't do what you say you want to do? But the inspiring part is to first identify what you want to do in real estate. Do you want to be a low-risk investor, or do you want to be a high-risk investor? I'm a flipper. I flip property. So I'm risky, and I know my lane. And so once you identify what your lane is, or you want to be a lender, not the borrower, you can collaborate the $250 or $5,000 with other people to acquire a property and build a cash flow real estate property. Do you want to, so these are questions of, do you want to? What do you really want to do? I can't really tell you what to do until you identify what you really want to do first.
But the cool thing is that you have an event coming up in less than a couple of weeks.
Yes.
No, so let's talk about that bus tour, because we want those that are motivated.
Absolutely.
And if today is the day that people decide to seize their own destiny, let's remind them, when is the bus tour and how can they go about reserving their place?
Absolutely. Well, bus tour is on April 13th. It's a Saturday from 8 to 3:30. And what this bus tour will be is a training of wholesaling. How to wholesale, understand the ARV, understand how to run comps, understand how to do your comps analysis, build a relationship with a team, a real estate agent, title company, attorneys, contractors. Then at the same time, we're going to go on a nice little ride. You'll see my properties that I've acquired. You also will get a chance to see my favorite properties, which is the high weeds,
really
boarded up, inside the loop, outside the loop, flood properties, because we have a lot of them we acquired due to Harvey, who are in distress. And at the same time, we're going to break bread during that moment.
Of course,
and we're
absolutely.
Why wouldn't
stop
you?
it?
Yes. And then with that, you'll end up walking away with a sound foundation of I can move forward. And if you do get stuck, you can go back to Rehab in High Heels, click on the link other consultation, and let's say you did meet up with a motivated seller, but you don't know how to close it. You can call me, and I will end up closing for you.
That's outstanding. Everybody's definitely going to go and follow you on IG. Mr. Simmons, as far as your website, the literature, could you go over that one time for our audience?
jjsimmons.org. That's jjsimmons.org. And yeah, that's me. You can find me. And please follow me on Instagram. You know, that's why I'm extremely the most active, JJ Simmons Fire. And let me just say something right quick about the real estate deal. For those of you who might not know, because this was the greatest thing that has ever been revealed to me when I started wholesaling. You don't need a penny of your money. You just need the education.
Yeah.
So, you know, please go to her event, because I'm telling you, man, when I discovered this, it completely revolutionized my life. Yeah. So you don't need a dime. You just need skill.
That's absolutely the truth, and I appreciate you for mentioning that as well. Mr. Brooks.
Yep. Well, hey, guys, I've enjoyed this episode. You know, again, it's always a privilege for me to sit down with friends, people that I watch grow, and I'm excited about the things that you guys got going on. I'm going to continue to support you, and I'm going to continue to watch you grow. Now, this weekend, also tomorrow, I want to share another thing. I'm going to be out tomorrow. Now, I'm not an avid golfer. I'm not an expert at it at all. But I get out there and I swing the clubs and I learn a few things. And so if you're interested in seeing some of the things that I've learned with my golf skills, I want you to come out tomorrow. A friend of mine, Diedrich, they're hosting their annual golf tournament. It's the organization is called Doing Our Part. And you can get you a ticket, or you can find out more about the annual Doing Our Part Golf Classic, which is at their website, which is dopnow.org. Again, dopnow.org. Starts tomorrow at 7. There'll be breakfast as the registration is taking place at 7. And then shortly after the registration, we'll have lunch that evening when everyone gets done playing. So I'm excited. I want to see you guys out. Come out there and watch me knock a couple of hole-in-ones.
On behalf of my co-host, Mr. Larry W. Brooks, and our guests, Mr. J.J. Simmons and Ms. D.J. Johnson, I want to thank everyone for tuning into the Prime Real Estate Network podcast this week. Urge everyone to follow every one of our guests and also myself and Mr. Brooks on social media. I want to thank you, and I urge everyone to tune in next week. I hope everybody has a great weekend, and we'll see you soon. Thanks.
Brooks & Davis Real Estate Firm, LLC is marketing a property for sale right now that you can buy. These properties range from land lots for under $20,000 to move-in ready homes $500,000 and more, along with everything in between. To see this week's list of properties for sale you can buy now, go to bit.ly/BDREF weekly list. That's bit.ly/BDREF weekly list. If you plan on selling some real estate and you need it on the weekly list, call 713-665-8329 to speak with someone about it.